episode of our podcast, Diabetically Speaking with SmartMove360, where we are talking about life with diabetes and we invite experts to talk about it with us. Let's go. All right. Hello again. This is Irina Strunina, and welcome back to our podcast. To those who already following us for a while, and if you just discovered us, please, what is it on YouTube? They say click subscribe button so you will not miss our next episodes. Welcome. I hope you find this podcast informative, useful. You are able to share it with your friends or people who you think need to hear what we're talking here about. And today we have a special guest. We have Jodi to join us. She will be sharing her information and how she is helping people with diabetes to become healthier and feel in charge of their health. But for right now, before we start, Jodi, please tell about yourself to our listeners so they will know who they are actually talking with.
Yeah, so I have been working with weight loss. It's kind of my specialty clear back since 2010. And that's actually when my husband flunked his life insurance exam. We were trying to get life insurance, and they came back after his blood work and said, "You are not healthy. You are overweight, and we don't really want to protect you." And that was really a big eye opener for us. And we immediately it literally changed our life because we knew that, for one, I had 4 kids and I didn't want him to die prematurely of something that he could have better control over. So we started helping him lose weight. And long story short, he ended up losing over 50 pounds. And people started noticing that we were really making a good change in his life. And people said, "What are you doing?" And it developed into this program that we were able to help people lose weight. And many of those people that joined us were diabetic, and we saw some fantastic things of their life changing because their lifestyle changed. And it was very fun to help people eat the right foods and have their blood sugars be balanced and level. And many of them even got off their medicines. And we had people that were on 200 units of insulin per day get completely off of that, which was something that once they thought they were doomed for their whole life. And so I'm 14 years in with this, just see success after success. A year and a half ago, my own son was diagnosed with diabetes. It was over Christmas, and it was very scary for our family. And luckily, we had quite a bit of experience with diabetes before that happened for him. It was type 1 for him. Most of the people that I worked with on losing weight are pre-diabetics or type 2. So a little bit of difference there. But that love for helping diabetics just went even more profound now that we have someone in our family with that is, for him, it will be a lifelong thing. He doesn't have to really change his lifestyle because his pancreas is just not going to work, So that's my story in a nutshell. Like I say, I love helping people lose weight, and a lot of the people in our Facebook group, their doctor is telling them, "Well, if you will lose weight, it will help you with this diagnosis." And then I see people that are very overwhelmed and don't know where to even start. They might, start walking for an hour over lunch or, whatever, but they really don't have a good plan to make that happen. And some of them don't have the support that they need as well.
Absolutely, yes. And Jodi, I read a little bit on your bio. You mentioned there that your husband is he's a doctor.
He's a chiropractor. Yep.
Okay.
So we like to do things natural.
Yeah.
Yep. So he's been a chiropractor for 25 years,
Mm-hmm.
and taking what he learned in his schooling and what we learned by implementing different things, we kind of have the weight loss problem figured out, which is exciting because over the years we would try this and that would work, and then we saw people struggling with this area, and so we would fix that, and then now we've got the finished product, which is so great that people get to just implement our ideas into their life, and week one they start seeing good results. So it's pretty awesome.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for sharing this. And I just wanted to emphasize what you already mentioned, that diabetes very often is depending on the way. It's not necessarily type 2 diabetes, not necessarily hereditary the disease, although our genes definitely play some role, but this role doesn't have to be activated in terms of diabetes. So very often what we inherit is not the disease itself, but the way how we live our day-to-day life,
That
right?
is so true. And I've seen that so many times. A dieter would come into my office and say, well, this my brother has this, my mom has this, my dad has this, so I'm just, no wonder I have it. And I had
Hmm.
to explain to them that exact same thing, that sometimes our lifestyle and our environment is different. I came from a family that ate because we had to eat. My
Yes.
husband came from a family where that's where they showed their love.
Uh-huh.
And when I went to his house for the first time and we were just dating, I thought we were having a Thanksgiving meal. I'm like, do I know the date? Like, what? What is this? And so, difference in how we are raised and how food is a part of our lives is, yeah, it's not necessarily a gene that's passed down, although sometimes that is. But the lifestyle, which can be changed, I've actually helped three generations of family change
Definitely.
lifestyle.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
changed.
this this is the lifestyle. It's also maybe cultural differences and cultural traditions that people acquired just because they were born in specific part of the world, and this is what is common. Everybody, all the neighbors, everybody is doing this or loving this or
Yep.
using this, and we don't question it. We just start doing the same thing as everyone, and then later on we may find out that maybe there is something wrong in the water because everybody is having this problem, but maybe there is something else. We need to look, yeah, take a quick look around like 360 degrees and see what else may contribute to the way how I feel, right? What
Yeah.
diagnosis I have or what problem I have.
There's a quote that says, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten. And
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
I think that habit plays a big role into this situation that people are in. I had all my kids and home for Christmas, and we'd always put like a tray of goodies, bad
Yes.
for you goodies, on the counter. And that's just what we had kind of always done. Again, you're
Mhm.
showing that love, and it's great to walk by and I see the kids, just peace as they walk through the kitchen. And then after my son was diagnosed, I said, you know what, we're gonna change this. And instead of putting the cookies and chocolate pretzels and all of those things on the counter, I put a veggie tray on there, and I watched how people would come by and they would still grab it.
Yeah,
So just a little switch can go a long ways.
definitely. And the some nuts with cinnamon sparkles on it, right? That would be
Yep.
actually very good. I love that.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we almost answered my first question here, but let's just repeat it one more time. Why do often we hear that diabetes, we back to diabetes. Diabetes is a lifestyle disease. In a nutshell, you already said, we already talked about it for about 6 minutes. Let's just summarize it. Why it is called as a lifestyle disease very often.
Because a lot of times with the way that we are eating throughout a given day or even a given hour contributes to obesity, and
Mm,
obesity causes a lot more additional problems. So if we
yeah.
can fix that initial, how we're eating, when we're eating, what we're eating, that can have such an effect on our blood pressure, our cholesterol, our happiness, which is a big
Oh yeah.
thing.
Oh yeah.
It does. We don't feel so happy when we don't feel good, and when our blood sugars are too high or they're too low, we don't feel good. And
And
so,
something else I wanted to add, the you mentioned already that in your family you ate to live, right?
to live,
And in some families it is vice versa. They no, you ate to live, people live to eat. So in some
yeah,
families, this is how it goes, right? But
mhm,
something that I also wanted to remind to everyone that when we have an extra weight, when we have this challenge, when the blood sugar is high, it's hard to do things because you don't feel well, you have pains everywhere, right? And that limits you in the physical activities as well. So people are not capable to go for a walk, or go for a walk and reach to that point where they can actually sit and enjoy the view. They get to the parking lot, they start walking, but very shortly after it's like, no, it's not, I'm not enjoying, I'm suffering, I'll go back. And but I noticed that with, say, even with my personal in my family, my daughter, at certain, because of her work, she gained a lot of weight. She didn't have much time to take care of herself, and suddenly she decided that she will not do this anymore. And she started finding patches of time to move more, to eat better, to cook for herself, and she started losing weight. And now she actually takes those rides to the nature and so happy to be there, because
yes.
before that it was for her very difficult to get to that spot, to this vista, to see the view, to enjoy the waterfall, to be able to climb up to see that panoramic view. So this is something that we are losing when we carry extra on us, right?
I like to tell people there is going to be a snowball. It's going to be either a good snowball or it's going to be a bad snowball.
Hmm.
The bad snowball is exactly what you just said. We're putting on extra weight and all of a sudden we don't feel good, our joints are hurting, all of these things. And it actually goes further into self-esteem and self-confidence, and all
Yes,
we have depression problems. All of those are like a snowball that just keeps building up as it rolls down the hill. But what I've been able to see and experience and help people with is reversing that and doing a snowball of good. First, they're like, oh my goodness, I've lost a little bit of weight. That feels kind of good. Then they can go on that walk and they get that greatness of being in the outdoors. People start complimenting them. They start accomplishing more at work and at home, and they start being nicer because they feel better. It's like that snowball of good. And it's okay if that snowball of bad has been going. We can bring out the sunshine and melt that snowball and start a new one.
exactly. And your husband is chiropractor. We one of the chiropractors who is now our personal family friend. When we first met with him, he was for treatment, and his service was gifted to us by a friend of ours. She said,
Nice.
"You need a treat. Here is, I'm paying for this visit."
Nice.
And so he came over, and he's very good person in the first place. So he said, well, unfortunately, you have so many problems that I will help you today, but we need to schedule more visits, because
Right.
this is the so. But he said, we will do it like an onion. just peel layer by layer, right? So this is snowball. We could the same thing, layer by layer. We
Yep.
will discover more and more goodness. Or well, the bad part is that layer by layer is getting rotten, which we don't want to happen, right?
Right.
All right.
Right.
So we said about how can the question was the next question I wanted to discuss, and we already started and talking about it. Change of lifestyle is changing the progression of the diabetes, right?
Yeah.
So uh, what would be a tip that you could give to people in terms of how they can start improving? Because improvements are, it's like home improvement. You can never stop improving the home, right? So,
Right.
same thing with our health. There's always something to improve. What
I
kind of changes people can start from the scratch? They've never done anything good for themselves. They found themselves in these bad situations. They didn't get much instructions. They don't even understand where to start. My personal suggestion would be, first of all, stop. Stop panicking.
Mhm.
Stop overventilating. Stop overthinking and breathe. This is first thing to do. And so once people did that, what next thing they can do? What would be your recommendation?
My number one tip would be to decide in your mind that it's time to make a change. Because once people decide in their mind, then they're open to the how. How are you going to do it? Am I going to stick with something that I'm going to make this change? And if they decide first in their mind, then those are the most successful people that I personally work with. In fact, sometimes people go 10 years and they know that they have been needing to lose weight and they've been thinking about it and they, whatever. And then all of a sudden they'll decide on a Friday night at 11 o'clock at night that they are ready. Like it's made that switch in their mind and they're ready. And they'll sometimes call me and say, I'm ready to go. I'm like, well, I'm in bed, can this wait until Monday? But I love the passion that comes when people decide they are ready, because
Yeah.
that is the biggest obstacle. Once they're ready, then we've got the rest. I was kind of interviewing a husband and wife combo in my office, in my diet center, and the guy was over 400 pounds.
Oh.
And the wife was, I was giving them all my expert advice. I was telling them what we were going to do, all of these great things. And he acted like he was on board, and then he kind of wasn't. And she started crying. And she said, Jodi, can you please make him do this? And I said, sweetie, I cannot.
Hmm.
It will never work. If he is not ready, I could have the best answer in the entire world. And if he is not ready, it will not work. So I talked and talked and talked, and he saw her crying, and he finally said, okay, I'm ready. And then he left my office and he called me and said, I just remembered that I just bought $200 worth of groceries and it wasn't good for me food. So I think I'm going to wait until I eat all those groceries because I don't want to waste that money. And I got off the phone and I said, oh no, we just lost him. Like we worked so hard to get him on board. And he decided exactly like I thought that he wasn't really ready. And he actually passed away 1 year later. And I was like, oh, I
Yeah.
did everything in my power, but if they are not ready, it will never work. And you can have your wife or your husband begging you to make this change, but unless you want it for you, then it will not work. But on the flip side, when you are ready, nothing will get in
Nothing
your
will
way.
stop you. Yeah.
Nothing will get in your way.
Yeah, I agree with you, and this is probably the hardest part, to be honest with yourself and to make this decision, because this decision is not just a decision, it's a commitment. It's commitment to yourself first of all, to
Yep.
to be honest with yourself, to be consistent, and sometimes we need help. And because
And that's okay.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
okay.
absolutely, this is totally fine. And in our Facebook group, this Diabetes 101 for beginners, almost every week we have a post from someone who was struggling with different challenges and was always making an excuses, but one day something happened. Sometimes it's just the simple thought that I would like to join my family at the family reunion when they go somewhere.
Right.
Because of my current condition, I cannot do it, but I definitely can change it. I still have time. There is certain period of time before this reunion, and people start doing it because of this. Another
Right.
time it could be people just got scared because they read some article about someone who had very bad circumstances from uncontrolled diabetes. So it's different for everyone, but once the decision is made, that you absolutely correct. There is nothing could stop you. You will be doing it, no matter what. You will find ways to do it. You will
Yep.
make arrangements, the changes. You will not be crying over the food that you just purchased, because your health and life much more than those $200 of groceries.
Yeah. And the reward is just exponential. And if we can help people see that and vision where they're going to be 5 and 10 years down the road if they don't make a change, and where they will be 5 and 10 years down the road if they do make a change, that is where we really help people pivot from, I don't know if I'm ready, to heck yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
Tell me what to do.
Yes, absolutely. And my personal belief, and it's in life in general, and in business, and in health. Uh, some people are very strong and they can do and make changes and stay responsible to themselves and accountable to themselves and do it. And very often you need the helping hand, and it could be maybe your spouse or friend or a coach. If you don't have the support in your circles, the coaches and are very useful. Athletes, big Olympic champions, these people who broke the records on whatever athletic field they are in, they all have coaches, and not one. They have coaches who help them with the physique, they have coaches who help them with the mental health, they have coaches who help them with the food, how to eat to keep themselves in the best shape at the time when they need that. So massage therapists, they have a lot of coaches who are supporting them. That's why I am really trying to bring as many coaches of different specialty to our podcast, to show how people can get help. And for somebody, Jodi, you are the solution. And for somebody else, we have some other people who can be a solution. Going
Absolutely.
through our podcast interviews, going through our expo videos, seeing different people, reading information. Uh, this is how people can educate themselves and decide, okay, I am good with doing exercises, but I really need help with maybe food choices. Or somebody else will say, I am good with in the kitchen, but I need support with my physique, and I need somebody to help me there. And this is what
Yeah.
I believe. Once you made a decision, as you said,
Mhm.
you will find a way to make this decision happen, right?
Yep. But then you do need to take it one step further
Oh, yes.
and find somebody like what I do. People that come to me that are ready to lose weight and they are truly ready, we don't have to figure anything out anymore.
Mhm.
We've been doing
Yes.
this for long enough. We've lost like I said, 70,000 pounds our first 10 years.
Yeah.
And then at that point, COVID hit. We had to change it all to online, so we couldn't keep track the same way that we used to. But using a proven system just takes the burden off of the process. My
Okay.
specialty is weight loss. You
Yeah.
want to lose weight? Let's talk. I'll
Yeah.
show you what we do. We have something for everybody, whether someone wants to go all in with an all inclusive program that has
Mm-hmm.
a coach checking on them every single week, um, that has every detail of what people need for successful weight loss. Or I also have like a boot camp that they can just do on their computer. That's a 10-day thing. I
Yeah.
have I have stuff for wherever people are at in their desire to get healthier by losing weight.
Yes, and the good thing you mentioned, you said that you have something for everybody. Uh, you don't have to get full-blown diabetes to start controlling your weight. And for our listeners, whoever you are, if you know of someone who was struggling for a while, trying to find the solution how they can lose weight so they will not get the diabetes, or they are in pre-diabetic range, this is the time when you still can get out of there without getting this diagnosis. um, Sometimes you just need to be pointed into direction. And again, we in our smart move 360 and diabetes 101 for beginners communities, we are trying to introduce as many experts in those fields as possible, and Jodi is one of them. So what would be the best way for people to connect with you if they will decide that, yes, I would like to speak with her, I would like to see
Yeah.
how she can help me?
My website is prohealthdiet.com. Pro
Okay.
health, pro health diet, because we are all for health, right? The whole
Yes.
package. So prohealthdiet.com. And on there you will see our all-inclusive package where we can
Uh-huh.
just take you, and you want to lose 50 pounds, great. Let's go. Here's how we're going to do it. I also have boot camps on there. You just click on the thing and it shows you the different kind of boot camps where you can do it at home. Maybe
Yeah.
you're not ready for the whole thing yet,
Do
which is fine. And there's even, if you click on the extras tab, there's a free ebook on, just some tips on losing weight.
Yeah.
So there's something for everyone on there. And then at the very bottom, if you want to talk to me, it says take action here. You can put
Yes.
in your name, let me know how much weight you want to lose, and I'll reach out to you via text, phone, or however you choose, and we'll just see where I can help you in which direction. Maybe I can't help you, and I'll let you know that too. But most everybody I can help.
All right. Thank you, Jodi. A little couple things, housekeeping. I wanted to remind for everybody in uh, our listeners in our community, Diabetes 101 for beginners, and whoever else found us on the internet. This is a big thing. So in the Facebook group, we do offer different kind of ideas, suggestions to people, and help. So on Mondays we run this motivational Mondays where our agent of change Monica Henderson goes and gives just like 5 minutes of motivation for to start your week right. On Tuesdays we have our Telenurse Tuesdays, where are registered nurses answering your questions. It's kind of live. People have a chance to ask their questions and on the same day to get an answer from the nurse that is specializing in helping people with diabetes. Every other Wednesday, we have support group meetings. These are in Zoom, not in the Facebook. And This is where people come, log in, and they have a chance to share their wins. They can also ask questions. Very often we have experts like Jodi, like some other doctors and nurses and experts in diabetes joining us. They're dietitians. On Thursdays, we have obviously what we are having right now, Diabetically Speaking with SmartMove 360 podcast. And on Fridays, we have our Fitness Fridays with Trevor Brown, where Trevor is sharing different kinds of exercises you could do to help yourself to stay toned and ready for the activities. Last week of April, we had our Diabetic Healthcare Expo, and recording is still in the group for right now. And the next expo we will have will be in the last weekend of month of June. So if you are thinking that you need a crash course on this diabetic topic, mark your calendar. June 29th, we will be going live again, and we'll be bringing our experts to talk to you, with you, about different ways how you can manage your life and get control over your diagnosis. With that, I would like to thank you, Jodi, for joining me today. We had a pretty good, I think, conversation about lifestyle with diabetes, and we will see you around.
Great. Thank you so
And
much.
yes, and everybody else, I'll see you next Thursday. Have a good rest of the week. Where is my video? Here.